Hello, welcome. I'm Kim. This is Kim's Wellness Space. I am so happy that you're here and that you've pressed play and we get to chat today. So today is a little bit of a personal one, which I want to share because I think that it's probably quite relatable, especially at this time of the year. So I always like to have a challenge. I always set myself some sort of challenge. I have done, what have I done as challenges? I have done the year where I practiced my headstands and got back into doing headstands every day. I have last year, my challenge to myself was to not drink alcohol, which I actually, my last drink was on Christmas Eve 2024, and I haven't had a drink since, and I don't drink now, not bothered, and actually quite like not drinking. That maybe that should be another podcast episode. See what I mean? Last week I said to you when I start chatting, I get these ideas. Maybe that's one I should talk about as well. Let me know if you want me to talk about that. So this podcast is about this challenge that I'm going to set myself for 2026, and it's still quite up in the air. I'm definitely going to do it, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it. And I think it's probably one of those challenges that I'm going to ease myself into and just see how I get on. Because if I make it too rigid, I probably won't want to do it. I mean, I might do it anyway, but it needs to be easy, doesn't it? And the reason that I want it to feel easy is because actually it feels quite scary. It's not scary, but it feels quite scary. Now, the challenge is that for 2026, I'm not going to buy anything that's new. Now, when I said this to my one of my grandchildren a good few weeks ago, she said, "Oh, but some things have to be new." And they do. She's right, absolutely. So I'm not going to be using secondhand shampoo or soap or food, that kind of thing. But that's still going to come from the normal way of buying. But even with those things, I want to think a bit more about what it is I'm buying. Maybe it's not so much that I don't want to buy new. Maybe it's that I want to be more aware, or a combination of the both. But as far as clothes, shoes, books, that stuff, I don't want to be buying new stuff. I already don't buy from those cheap, I'm not going to name them, companies. You know, the ones that have the apps where it's all like £2 and it comes and there's, I just don't like it. I don't do that. I do use Amazon. I probably want to pull back on that a little bit. But at this time of year, which I think is why it's so prevalent, there's so many adverts, there's so much stuff that we're being told that we need when we already have so much stuff that we don't use and honestly doesn't do the half the things that they're promising us they're going to do. And I think for me, this feels even more, I don't know, it's butting against me. It feels more annoying. It's annoying me. It's annoying me because I've bought into some of it and that annoys me. But I think it's annoying me more because I'm not used to it. And all of a sudden it's like everywhere. And I can feel myself being manipulated into, the marketing's good. And I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to buy something because I've been influenced by some really good ad campaign and spent all of my money and then being like, it's not that good, or I didn't really need it. So I think if we go back slightly, when we lived in Cyprus, we lived in the north of the country and we didn't have post. We didn't have high street shops. Like, they did have shops, don't get me wrong, you can buy stuff, but it's not the same as living here. And we don't watch television really. So we're not seeing loads of adverts. And our life was very simple, I think is the word that I want to use. Um, and when we first moved there, there was quite a lot of buffering where we would be like, oh, I really want that. I can't get that here. That's annoying. But then after a little while, we didn't even think about it because we didn't really need the stuff that we thought we needed. And when we moved to Cyprus, we took quite a lot of stuff with us, and we never ever used it. And then when we packed up to come back, we actually donated a lot of our belongings, um, and left things behind because we didn't need it. And even the stuff that we have packed to bring back, I mean, at this point, while I'm recording this, we're still actually waiting for those boxes to arrive. But I can't really remember what we packed, so I probably don't need it. Like, I know there's stuff from my office, and I absolutely want that. There's books and my yoga things and like work stuff. But what is all the other stuff? And I know, because I love clothes and handbags and shoes, I know that a big bunch of my stuff is that kind of belongings. But I've been here for 3 months now with very, very minimal clothes and shoes and handbags. And I'm just fine. I'm not suffering. Sometimes I might think, oh, it'd be nice if I had that other pair of shoes, or that might be nice if I'd had that handbag to change to. But it was only a moment, and then it was gone. And then I was getting on with the activity, which nobody else cares. Nobody is looking at my handbag thinking she uses that handbag every single day. What is wrong with her? Why is she not changed? No one thinks that. Nobody. Um, and then because we're now here, living in the UK, and we have, because the weather's been really, actually it's not been bad, has it? But we are cold, and we it is a bit more wet, and we're not living outside like we were before. We have had the television a bit more, and we have seen some adverts, and it is a bit more noisy. And then of course it's Christmas, and then it gets more noisy, doesn't it? And it's easy, and you just, it's all on a press of a button and it's there. But do we need that stuff? So last week when I went shopping, I said to my husband, I want to buy a load of fruit and veg, but I'm only going to buy the fruit and veg that's been grown in the UK. I'm not buying it if it's come from Brazil or South Africa or Spain. I'm literally going to buy seasonal. And so I made sure that I did. And I bought pears and apples that came from Kent, and, that kind of thing. But it took me a while. It took me longer to do the shopping because I was checking every single label. And I mean, I'm used to checking labels. I'm vegan, so I'm constantly checking labels. But now I'm checking labels of the origin of what I'm eating. It's taking a little bit longer. It's okay. I have the time. It's my choice. So I think this is how I'm going to slide into 2026. I know you said 2022. That was weird. I don't know where that came from. Um, so I'm going to be much more aware of what I'm buying food wise. I want to be seasonally eating. I am growing stuff in the garden. That's only going to get more. Um, and I think what I want to do is create a pause. So every time I think I need something, so like I am an absolute sucker for cleaning products. So when we lived in Cyprus, you couldn't get all of those cleaning products that you think that you need. We didn't really have them. But now I'm here and I can go in the supermarket, and the whole cleaning aisle is just full of all of these wonderful products that I think I need, but I actually don't. And I know I don't because for the last 8 years, I haven't had them. And my house has been clean and tidy and perfectly okay. So I want to create a pause in between. Oh my God, look, that's what's on the shelf. I want it. So actually, do I need it? Have I run out of what I'm using now? If I have run out of it and I need to replace it, what is the best thing for me to do? Not because it looks pretty or it smells amazing or Mrs. Hinch has told me to or that marketing campaign did. What actually suits me and my household? And if I've already got it, I'm not buying it because I don't need to have six in my cupboard waiting because that's just taking up space. I don't need it. If once I've run out, then I can go and get one. So it's creating that space of, do I actually really want that? And it's the same with clothes. I love jumpers. I love clothes. I love shoes. I love handbags, like I said before. But I don't need a whole spare bedroom full of clothes. Like at the moment, I've got like maybe a week's worth of clothes. because that's what's here, because I'm waiting for the rest of the stuff to arrive. And there's only been a couple of occasions where I've thought, oh, I haven't really got anything that's right for this occasion. And I have been and bought a couple of I bought a couple of jumpers because I was really cold when we were in Scotland and I needed to have them because I was just freezing. And then we had one birthday party event where I didn't really have anything that was a bit more special than my day to day. So I have bought a few things, but I have thought about it. And also the other thing that I'm trying to do is every time I bring something in, something has to leave. Because if I don't want to throw it away, why am I not wearing that? Why do I need this new thing? So I don't want to make it too rigid. And I know that I'm going to have to practice, and I know it's not going to be perfect. And I know that I'm going to slip up. And that's okay. I'm not judging myself. I'm not being harsh, but I do want to be more aware. So I'm going to try and eat seasonally as much as I can. I'm going to try and make sure that my cupboards are full with the things that I'm using now, and I haven't got loads of just in case things, because I don't need a just in case thing. There's shops everywhere. I'm never going to run out. I lived for 8 years in a house where I didn't have a massive supermarket 2-minute walk away, and it was fine. So I know that I can do it. And I learned a lot when I lived in Cyprus about myself and about how I want to live. And I want to bring more of that with me. I don't want to get sucked into, I don't know, being a sheep. I don't want to be a sheep. I don't think I'll ever be a sheep, but you know what I mean. So it's going to be gentle. And the other thing, I think the other thing that I find a bit scary about this is that I'm not very good at using charity shops. I give to charity shops, but I don't buy from them. And I don't go in them very often, but when I do, I never really find anything that I would want to buy. But I think it's because I just don't spend the time actually doing it. I don't, it's not like going into a normal clothes shop where you know that these are the t-shirts, these are the jumpers, this is the fashion thing. But you have to look a bit more, don't you, in a charity shop? So I have been trying to practice going in them and just glancing around. Like if there's something that I really want, am I going to be able to find it? I just don't know. I have no idea how this is going to work. I don't even know how I'm going to document it actually. I feel like maybe I should document it. I don't know. That's a thought for another day. But it is important to me. I know that we have in our world piles and piles of rubbish and food waste and clothes that have been thrown away, and I don't want to add more to it. I know I can't undo what's already been done and what's gone before me, but I definitely don't have to add to it. And so I'm going to spend next year practicing this art of enjoying things that have already been used and reusing them. And I don't know how I'm going to get on. And I'm sure that once I've done it next year, then, it'll go into another year. And I don't think I'm going to go backwards. I think I'm just going to go forwards with this. And maybe you'll find me on Instagram in my secondhand clothes looking amazing and glam. Who knows? Who knows? I have no idea. But I do know that even if I don't buy it from a charity shop, I am going to make myself stand still and be like, do I really need this? Or am I just buying it because I think I need it? And maybe making myself wait a whole week before rather than rushing to buy it. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear if you do this already, or if you've challenged yourself like this. And if you did, how long did it last? Or maybe you've got tips and tricks of how to, I don't know. I don't know. It's something that it's it's a itch that I need to scratch, and it's been around for a while. And so I'm gonna scratch it. We're gonna see how we get on. So it's gonna be fun. So yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to me rambling on today about this challenge and how it's going to work. And I will speak to you all very, very soon.